Salam! Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Hassan and I have helped more than 300 clients configuring more than 1000 websites on Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, custom build platforms, and I have worked with 25 different agencies, so I know what kind of issues you might face while you are configuring this setup. And with all of my experience, I'm going to show you how I configure Facebook Pixel's view item event on Google Tag Manager for WooCommerce websites. This view content event is very necessary because most of my clients, they don't really care about the secondary events, but some of the agencies and clients, they do care about the specific details and providing more data back to the algorithms. However, I am creating this video in keeping in mind those small business owners who want to track this view item event on their Facebook Pixel, or digital marketing teams who don't want to hire someone but want to do the work themselves, or freelancers who are trying to configure this on their client's website and they are stuck somewhere or they need some kind of information. However, this video is not a general e-commerce training section, so I'm not going to show you how e-commerce platform works. This is also not a digital marketing strategy video, so I'm also not going to show you how to utilize these events. You might find other useful videos on that. And this is also not a coding intensive session where I'm going to show you how to code DataLayer. To make things more easier for you, I have outlined this video into 5 different sections. In the first section of the video, I'm going to explain just a little bit what Google Tag Manager is and how we can configure that on our WooCommerce store. In the second section of the video, we are going to configure a Facebook Pixel configuration tag on the website. This tag is necessary to track any event that we might have on the website. In the third section, I'm going to show you how I added the data layer that is required for details such as content IDs, content name, price, currency, value, etc. etc. All the details that we need to send back with the event. In the fourth section, I'm going to show you how I configure view content event using a custom tag template in Google Tag Manager so that we can track that information from the data layer and send it back to the Facebook Pixel. And in the fifth section of the video, I'm going to do some testing just to make sure that everything is working alright, and I'm going to show you multiple ways how you can do some tests. Before jumping into that, there are some ground rules that can help you get the best out of this video. Trust me, I have watched millions of tutorials and it is very eager to do and watch the video at the same time. However, I would highly recommend you to watch the video first and then start implementing it by rewatching it again. This will help you better understand the concept when the first time you're watching it, and in the second time you will be much more clearer. And if you stick to the very end, there is a bonus gift for you, and that might help your life like 10 times much more faster. Also, make notes, and if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section, or there is a contact now button on the website. You can reach directly to me. In this first section, we are going to see how we can add Google Tag Manager on the WordPress website. There are a million ways to do that. We can directly add them to php.file, we can add them to header.php, we can add them in function.php. However, in this video, we are going to use some plugins. Plugins makes our life much more easier. They are easier to manage, maintain, and they don't affect the website performance at all. So we are going to use some plugins for this one. The plugin that we are going to use is called GTM for WP by Thomas Gregner. If you will go directly to the plugin sections and click on add new plugin on your WordPress backend, it will take you to another page where we can search for the plugins. On the top right corner, let's just search for GTM for WP, and the first result that is there is by Thomas Gregner. Let's just click on the install button. Once the installation has been done, we can click on activate. This will activate the plugin. For some reason, there is this glitch on WordPress that as soon as you activate the plugin, it is not available in your settings. You might have to refresh the page. So our plugin is active. Let's just refresh the page once so that the settings has been confirmed, and we can scroll down to the settings tab. We are going to see another option called Google Tag Manager. So let's just select Google Tag Manager from there. You might see that the only thing we need is the Google Tag Manager container ID just to make sure that the tag is working alright. So let's just go to our Google Tag Manager container. Make sure you are on the correct property if you have multiple businesses. However, if you are a small business owner, you only have one account. If you don't have a container, you can watch this video right here where I have explained how to create a Google Tag Manager container. So, but that is not the part of this video. Let's just quickly copy this container ID. You can also get the container ID by clicking on the code and copying it from here. So let's just copy this one, go back to the website and paste the code here. Let's make sure the container code is on and let's hit save changes. Just be sure that sometime when you will save changes, it will turn automatically it from on to off. So you might have to do it one more time. There are these small annoying glitches that we have with WordPress, but that's life, I guess. So Let's just quickly verify if everything is working alright. Once you are in the Google Tag Manager container, you can click on the preview button, and this preview button is going to open a temporary debug window with your website. Once you connected with your website by adding the URL right there, I already had the URL so I didn't have to add. You can use this Google Tag Legacy Assistant Chrome extension to verify if the Tag Manager container is working alright. You can see that it's green. As long as it is not red, it should be good. And now we have the same container ID firing. We can also see that the Tag Assistant says that it is connected. And we can also see this debug window is also connected. So perfect. We are done with the first section. Congratulations. Now we can move to the second section of the video because we have so many things to do. Now we need to make sure that the page view event is working fine. And the page view is a configuration tag that is required on all the pages of the website, right? So for that, we have to go to the Facebook Business Manager. Once you are on the Facebook business.facebook.com, on the left side, you can find this option for all tools. Even if you are on Ads Manager or some other page, you are going to find this option for Event Manager. If you can't find it on the top, you can scroll down and you can find this option right here. Once you click on the Event Manager, the Facebook Business Manager is going to take you to this screen or maybe the overview screen. Then you can select the data sources. Data sources and pixels are the same thing. Previously, they were called pixels. Now they renamed it to datasets because they want everyone's lives to be a little miserable, right? So the only thing that we need from the pixel is to select this ID. If you don't have a pixel, you can create one by just clicking on this blue button. I know it's not blue, but I'm colorblind. So you can select this button and create a new pixel for yourself and then select this pixel ID. Let's go back to the Google Tag Manager container. And again, there are a million ways to add Facebook configuration tag in Google Tag Manager. However, the method I use is really efficient and is really the best. I use tag templates because templates are easier to update and easier to manage. What we are going to do, we are going to use a tag template that has been created by Facebook Pixels team itself. Alhamdulillah. The tag is called Facebook Pixel and we are going to search that in the tag section. So let's just quickly search for Facebook Pixel. And once you have selected the Facebook Pixel, let's just add it to the workspace. Workspace is this whole Google Tag Manager thing that we are working on right now. We can have more than one workspace, and that thing is not covered in this video because this is not a Google Tag Manager video. Great, now we have added the Facebook Pixel. Let's just go to the tag section and create a new tag that will fire this event on all the pages. Let's click on new. Trigger is something that is going to tell Tag Manager that where this tag has to fire. We want this tag to fire on all the pages, so let's just select all pages, right? And let's just select Facebook Pixel and add the pixel ID. And the event that we want to fire is called page view, so everything looks good. We can also do one more thing that I like for the optimization is to have a constant variable created for this event. Let's just create a constant variable for our Facebook Pixel ID. So let's just do this and rename it to Facebook Pixel ID because later on we are also going to create a new event for view item, view content. We need to make sure that we have the Facebook ID saved so we don't have to go back and copy and paste the ID and make some sort of mistake. So let's just rename this tag to Facebook Configuration Tag. Great, now we have created the tag, but I know that the tag is going to work, but there has to be some way that you know the tag is working. So we're going to test the event. Testing is really easy. You can go back to your event manager and open this event test section. You don't have to do anything else. Go back to your Google Tag Manager container and open the preview window again. Anytime you make any changes to the tags, triggers or variables, you have to reopen the preview section, alright? Just remember that. So once the preview window is connected again, we can use this Facebook Pixel Helper extension to verify that. We can see that the page view event is firing right here. We can also go back to the debug window and this container tag. We can also see that the Facebook tag is firing right here. And if you go back to the event manager test section, we can also see that the Facebook page view event is firing on this debug test center. So you have these three different ways to test the same thing because testing is the most important thing. You never publish anything before testing, right? Great, now we are done with 2 sections and we are only halfway down the video. Alhamdulillah, we are going at such a good pace, trust me. Third thing we need is the DataLayer event. I know that the DataLayer is really confusing and you might have never heard of DataLayer because you have no idea what the coding side is. Therefore, we are using plugins to make our life easier. Just think of DataLayer as a bridge between Google Tag Manager and your website. So anything the user is doing on the website, we are storing some of that information in the data layer and the Google Tag Manager can read that information and send it to Facebook Pixel, Google Analytics and anywhere else that we might need. So since we have already added a plugin for that, let's just go to the integration tag for this Thomas Gregner plugin, GTM for WP. And under the WooCommerce, we are going to check this e-commerce section. And for the product impression, let's just select 20. And this is the only thing that we need to do. And this will add the data layer for your WooCommerce store. So let's just hit save changes. And let's just quickly check if it is working all right. Let's just go to any of the product pages on our website. Let's just select the first product. And we do have to select an option. So let's just select one option with 100 grams. And now on the tag manager, you can see that we have this view item event firing with the 100 grams. It has the price attached, it has the ID, and it has everything that we need. We are also done with the third section. See, we are going at such a high speed pace. Alhamdulillah. So now in the fourth section of the video, we need to make sure that we can get information from this data layer and send it back to the Facebook pixel. And this is a little complicated part, so I want you to pay very close attention to this section. Great. Now we are in the tag section. We need a few things before we get started. Similar to how we added this tag template, we also need a tag template for converting the GA4 data layer into Facebook pixels. So a Step team has been really helpful by creating this Facebook parameter generator variable. So we are going to add this variable. What this variable does is that it does half of the work for us. All right, great. And we also need a few more variables because again, that is also live. For example, we need this currency parameter, right? So we have to get directly from this e-commerce object. And anything that starts with the curly brackets is called an object in JavaScript. And to access anything inside an object, it has to be e-commerce.object. You know how we used to have rows and columns, and if you want to access something, you say R1, C1, row 1, column 1, so you know exactly which piece it is. So similar to objects, we have the same thing. We do e-commerce.currency to get this currency parameter. So under the variables, we are going to create roughly 10 variables right here. So let's just create the first variable for currency. Let's just do it e-commerce.currency, ENCY. And let's rename it to data layer variable e-commerce.currency. Great. We need to do the same thing for value, and we need to do the same thing for the items array too. Let's just quickly check where we have this items array. It's under e-commerce.value. Let's just do the value first. So it's e-commerce.value. Let's rename this tag to DLV e-commerce.value. And then the last one we have is e-commerce.item. So let's quickly do that. Let's create another data layer variable for e-commerce.items, DLV. Great. We have items array, we have the currency parameter, and we have the value parameter. However, the only issue is that Facebook has their own documentation and they require things in a certain format, right? Like every event has their own dress code. You can't just go to any event wearing the same dress code. So the tag template that we created a few minutes earlier, we are going to use that tag template to convert the GA4 data layer into something that Facebook Pixel actually understands. So let's just select this Facebook parameter generator, and the first things it needs is the e-commerce items array. We have already created that, so let's just quickly select e-commerce.items array, and we have to create all of these 5 things one by one. So, the only thing it requires are these 4 parameters, and that's product ID. We have the product ID under item_ID, so let's just paste it right here. The second thing is name is product name. Let's just quickly check where is the product name. It's right here. So let's just select item names. Then we need to tell in our array of object where exactly is the price. The price is under price itself, so that's good. And then we have to tell it where the quantity is. Do we have quantity somewhere here? We don't have quantity, but it's all right. Since the quantity is always going to be 1, since it's a view item, we can just write quantity here. And let's rename this tag to Facebook parameter generator, and we are using e-commerce items array, and this one is for contents. Great. We have to do the same thing for content IDs, content name, num items, and value. We might not need to do it for value because we already have the value parameter here. So there is one option. We can either create a new one or we can just copy and paste this one. let's just copy and paste the existing parameters so we don't have to do the whole process again. Instead of contents, let's just select content IDs, and that is pretty much anything that we need to do. So let's just rename this one with content IDs. Now we need to do this one more time for content underscore name. So let's create content underscore name, and let's just rename it to content underscore name. And we need one more for num items. Num item just tells Facebook Pixel that how many items were there. So let's do num items. We also have to select num items here, and let's delete this part. Great, we have all the variables that we needed for this one. So now we can go to the tag section and create the tag that we need. Unlike Facebook configuration tag where the trigger was selected for all pages, we don't want the tag to fire on all the pages of the website because that would make no sense, right? So let's just go back to the DataLayer event. We only want this event to fire on view item event. So let's just select view item event, go to the trigger section and select custom events right here. We can paste the view item event right here and rename this to custom event view underscore item and hit save. Great. Now we can create the tag that is actually going to send this event parameters back to the Facebook Pixel. We are going to use the same template tag, and you remember why we created the category thing? We can select this one and add Facebook Pixel category right here. Now we have to add some of the properties that we want to send back to the Facebook Pixel with this event. Some of the things that we want to send are value, currency. We also want to send contents. Then we want to send content underscore IDs. We want to send content underscore name. We want to send content underscore type. Then we have to send num underscore items. And that pretty much seems everything. The value is under e-commerce.value. So let's just select that. We have currency under e-commerce.currency. We have contents under Facebook parameter generator one. We have IDs under the same parameter. So let's just select IDs. Then we have name right here. The type is just product. This is a constant variable. We can also create a constant for this one. However, I just don't usually like that one. Then we need num items. Great. Now we need to change this name from page view to view content, and we can rename this tag to Facebook view content. Trust me, this was the hardest thing that we have to do. Let's quickly recap what we did just to understand the fourth section because this was a little complicated. The first thing we did is get the values from this data layer inside the variables. So we created 3 variables for e-commerce.currency, e-commerce.value, and e-commerce.items. Once we had these variables created, then we went and created other variables that are just going to map the e-commerce.items array into content IDs, content names, contents, and things like that. Once we had also done that, then we created the tags and the trigger and sending this value back. Now we are back to the final section of the video where we are just going to test if everything is working alright. Since we have made changes to the tags, triggers, and the variable section, we are going to click preview button again. So a refreshed brand new preview section is connected. Once the preview section is connected with the website, let's just quickly go to any of the product pages. Let's just go to this product, why not? And this Facebook Pixel helper is showing us that the view content event is firing. The content ID is 16. The content name is canvas pack. We have the contents array. We don't have the nan number item, but that's alright. We don't need that one for this variable. We can also see that the tag is also firing here. That's perfect. And we can go back to the event manager and we can see that we don't have any errors here. So that's also good. And great. Now we have added everything that we need. However, I also have one bonus thing for you that is going to make your life really easy for you. You saw how we did all of this tags and triggers and variable creation. I know that it's really complicated and it is really daunting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this container, and if you will go down to the link in the description, you can download this container for yourself, and I can show you how you can download the container for your Google Tag Manager container. Once you have downloaded the container from the website, you can go to the admin section and click on import container. This will ask you for the container file, and you can select the container file that you have just downloaded. and for me this is the container file. Then select the existing workspace and then select merge. Alright, once you will select merge, it will show you all the changes that it is going to make, and then you can hit confirm. Once you will hit confirm, this will add all the tags and the variables that we just created in this video directly everywhere. The only thing that you have to do is go to the variable section and update the Facebook pixel ID and add your own Facebook pixel ID right here, and you should be good to go. Also make sure that you publish the changes, because if you don't submit the changes, nothing is going to be saved. So let's just quickly save the changes right here. Facebook view content. Awesome. Now we are successfully tracking view content event in our event manager, and in the next video I'm going to show you how we can trigger add to cart event. And if you want to see how to track this add to cart event on your Facebook pixel, you can watch the next video right here.